Last time on The Ties That Bind, our heroes found themselves at the mercy of the man of black and white. Daenerys and Wolfgang found themselves imprisoned while Asmo faced off against a dead-eye assassin in a gladiatorial bout to amuse the flippant god. Finding himself victorious, Asmo and the man of black and white came to an arrangement that left Asmo branded and on the brink of death, and then was sent to join his comrades in the dungeon. Down there, they ran into Fezziwig, who came to these catacombs of horror for his own reasons. Together, they managed to escape using the Wandering Weasel's magic key and found themselves in the ghost town of Bordeaux. With a heartfelt but enigmatic farewell, our heroes parted ways with Fezziwig and planned their next move. This journey, leaving them with scars, both physical and mental, is finally drawing to its end. So you guys have rested through the night, spent your night in the Wandering Weasel, and as you get up, Tom and Lush are basically ushering you out. You find a very quiet and sheepish Abigail, and Pip is all dressed up in his best traveling attire. He's got a full cloak, and he still has a massive fucking backpack on. And you guys step out. Tom pulls the doorknob, and blink! It's that same little doorknob that you usually see him carrying around, puts it in a pouch. Well, if you lot wanted to stick around here, that's your business, but I think we're going to be making our way. I've spent quite enough time here.
Yeah, I imagine so. No customers around means no business, means no reason to stay.
Yep.
Why would you even choose this place as a place of business? I mean,
Well, there were places to stop on the way down, and as I said to you in... Where did I last see you?
Steamy Springs, I believe.
Steamy Springs.
Yes. Well, as I said to you then, I just want to see if the stories were true for myself. Maybe see if I could find a survivor that could tell me what happened, and lo and behold, kind of gestures towards these empty cobblestone streets. As you look around, it's very Victorian around you. There's cobblestone streets, empty lampposts that seem to be covered in spider webs. God only knows how long it's been since anybody's been around to light them. There's empty store shops, with windows broken up front, clearly looted by passersby over the time. The town is basically a ghost town, but every now and again on the floor you can find little stains of red from blood long since spilt.
No. Definitely haunting, to say the least. Surprised no one's ever moved back in.
Oswald just kind of knocks the ground.
Well laid out city. Pretty beautiful, if wasn't so haunted.
That is the mysterious bit about it, isn't it? Nobody's come back. And who knows how long it's been like this. As far as I could gather, it's been this way for maybe 2-3 years.
Damn. All that shit was recent.
Recent enough, I suppose. But anyway, if you manage to catch up with us, we'll be on our way. Or if you wish to travel with us, that's your prerogative entirely.
The more the merrier. Besides, I gotta catch up with Pip here.
Asmo puts his arm around Pip and gives him a little noogie.
Yeah.
Pip just kind of shudders his shoulders a little bit
And check this out. Frostbite.
And I just, Asmo, in front of his face, pretty much has his fist, the new weapon, and just turns into ice.
His eyes kind of glitter as he looks at it, and he kind of pokes the tip with his finger.
Oh yeah, baby. It's hot. It's awesome. Almost as good as this.
Asmo lights on his fire dagger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's relatively familiar with that one.
Look at this. Asmo puts his wrists together and just goes back and forth with them.
I call this a song of fire and ice.
Just does a weird sound with it. And Asmo just keeps talking with him.
Pip is mesmerized, just staring. So, what's your guys' call? Do you want to explore the city of Bordeaux for a bit, or do you want to travel with Tom and Lush?
Asmo wants to go with Tom and Lush. Daenerys is either one, so it's all up to what Wolfgang wants to do.
By the way, on these streets, Daenerys, you're feeling pretty uncomfortable. there's just this tingling going on the back of your spine as you look around these streets.
Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to go with them. Something about these streets don't feel right.
Can I make one perception or one investigation check?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I would like to see if there are any signs of the bleeding god here.
I mean, you're kind of trying to check for something that's fairly ethereal, but go for it. I mean, you can convince these guys to go with you.
Can I cast Detect Magic? I'm just trying to get a thing.
If you use Detect Magic, you're just gonna like look around you and
see if there's anything magical around.
What's the range on that thing?
30 feet.
Now, within 30 feet of you, I mean, Tom and Lush are luminous, and obviously you see the items held within Asmo, all of Denir's magical equipment, and your own. Pip kind of gives off a faint glow, as does Abigail. But nothing really outside of you guys within that 30-foot range is setting anything off.
Wolfgang shakes his head and spins around. I don't really have the wherewithal to do any more than I need to at this point in time. I want to get home. I want to see my baby boy.
Well, wonderful. Onward we go then. As you guys begin to walk out of the city streets, you begin walking past these empty storefronts. And as you do so, Denir, I need you to make a wisdom save as you begin to feel this tingle on your brain.
Okie doke. That is a nat 20.
You're able to brush it off, but you felt like something was trying to intrude your mind there for a second. You shake it off and just kind of take it as that weird influence from what you were feeling last night.
Denir starts walking a lot faster. He is just...
Denir?
Something's here. I don't want to be here. I'm getting out of here.
Wolfgang sort of sighs and looks at him with a worried expression.
In the back of your mind, Denir, you hear the sobbing of a woman.
Denir's going to stop. He's going to look over towards Wolfgang. And he's going to pretty much tell Wolfgang everything that he's been feeling for the last few minutes.
Basically, what you feel like something is trying to, like, either sounds or visions are trying to push their way into your brain, and you're not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel a connection to something here.
I don't know what it is. I can feel this woman crying.
Asmo looks back, just hearing a little bit of, why? What did you say to her?
I don't know this woman. I've never heard this woman's voice before.
Yeah, you hear the woman crying, and you hear this subtle chuckling of what sounds like a brutish man.
I think I'm starting to get almost echoes of something that's happened here in the past.
Where?
Denir looks around. Can he kind of pinpoint a location?
Not really. I mean, it sounds like it's coming from close to one of the alleys between a storefront.
Oh, so he's hearing it in a direction?
Yeah. No, he's hearing it as if it's like some sort of auditory illusion.
And he's the only one. It's just him.
Just him.
It's coming from over there. I hear.
As you look towards that alley, I need you to make another wisdom save.
Okay. 14.
As you look towards that alleyway, all of a sudden the sunlight is gone. And you see some lamplight. All you see is like lamplight. And you see these two men standing around this woman who's just sobbing. These men look to be dressed relatively officially, but they're definitely gruff and oafish. They appear to be accosting her, and you step forward towards them, silently. And as you approach, you see that they're just harassing this woman and, trying to force her to do things she doesn't wish to do. And you thrust forward your arm, and at the end of it is a rapier, and it goes straight through the neck of one of the men. As the other one looks up in a horrified expression, his head ignites in flames. The woman lets out a shriek and begins to whimper. As she slumps to the ground next to these men, you let out your hand. She takes your gloved hand sheepishly. As you pull her in, she lets out a shocked expression across her face as you step back and look down at the dagger that is plunged into her heart. And like that, you flash back and you're just standing in this alleyway. Asmo, Wolfgang, you just watched Denier just pantomime these actions with a very stone cold face.
The hell is happening? Tommen, hold up.
Yeah, Tom is just kind of watching this too, fascinated.
Wolfgang walks up to Denier, puts a hand on his shoulder, tries to shake him out of it.
Yeah, he's back conscious. Like, you can see the light has come back into his eyes now, but for a moment there, he just zoned out.
Denier, what the hell was that?
I think it's the past. Echoes or a memory or something. I saw a woman being accosted by two men. And as I approached, there was a rapier in my hand. I killed the men. And after I dealt with them, I pulled the woman to her feet. And then there was a dagger in her chest. I think I was seeing from the perspective of the jester.
Whatever happened here seems to have burned itself into the town itself.
You look down at the flooring of the alleyway, and sure enough, you do see a blood stain on the ground. Seemed to be a very large pool.
That was his, and that's hers. In your points.
Detect magic is still on.
Yeah, doesn't look like anything magical is here. Just old bloodstains.
There's no magic here.
None that you can see, but I can feel things. Something isn't right here.
Let's leave. We don't have the time or resources to look into this at the moment.
You continue westward through the town of Bordeaux, walking over the cobblestones. Every now and again you see more bloodstains on the ground, shattered windows. Home to nothing but vermin and spiders now. And as you approach the cresting edge of a river, as you track down, as you look up towards the top of the river, it kind of leads up kind of like hillward. And the streets twist and turn with the town to a hilltop manor that looks like an old skeleton of a house. Almost as if it had been burned down. But the frame still stands strong. And towards the other end, you see a lone house on the hillside where the two waterfalls intersect. Or on the cliffside, I mean. You take that one last look, and you get Denier. You get chills. You're not comfortable here. And you look away and continue out of the town of Bordeaux.
This is not a good place. I can understand why nobody ever returned.
The town felt very haunted, but not by the usual specters that you had grown accustomed to on your journey northward.
Not
It was
like
definitely
Beauregard.
something different.
Beauregard is a pleasant haunting.
Yes,
You can only hope Beauregard would haunt us.
truly a friendly ghost.
Boo.
Your journey brings you to the west. It feels like you're traveling for a few days, maybe a week. But it's nice to see the sunshine during the days again. Every now and again, you come by a small town, like very small.
Are we crossing the maw in the middle?
No, you are walking around the maw currently, trying to get to the fort on the other side, as you believe that you have passage granted to you by the authority of the Archmage himself, and if not him, then the Grand Vizier.
Did we head west or east?
You're heading west right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back towards the edge. Every now and again, you come across a small town, like even smaller than Birchwood Creek. Obviously not in population now, but
Why all the towns are empty?
no. The towns have people in them, but they're maybe the size of like Fallwood Borrow, that kind of like on the fringe of the world kind. They're very small farming communities growing what they can in this fall-like climate.
A village, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of place that probably doesn't even have like a governmental hierarchy. Some of these places are probably so far out that the capital doesn't even send people to collect taxes, that they're so small. But Tom opens up for a night. People come in, get to hear about their woes of farming and not a whole lot else. But eventually your journey takes you to the northern side, the base that you kind of skirted your way around in order to get to Birchwood Creek. You find yourself in front of this imposing black steel structure made of stone and that roughly hewn black steel.
We could have gone through this, but we decided to take the underground passage.
Well, if you remember, finding your way through this place while heading north would have been difficult, as you are from essentially a country that was at war with this one.
Yeah.
As you approach, you see a couple of half-elves up on the parapet look down. State your business.
We wish to cross.
Do you now?
Yes.
Yep.
Ain't many come through here looking to cross.
A silly question. In our inventory, do we have any kind of seal from the dragon?
Wait, from who?
From Tia.
Lovely silver dragon. Tia, yeah.
The only scroll you had was handed off to the Archmage.
Oh, fun.
I mean, you, Asma, you probably still have your decorative sword, as you never mentioned leaving it anywhere, but...
It's true. You mean my decorated sword? Oh, yeah, I had that really nice sword.
Yeah, the one that the king granted you for your original quest and your heroism at the wall.
We'd like to go through. We went up north to do a job, and we're coming back home now.
And Asma pulls out that very fancy sword.
The king himself gave me this.
We ain't got no king up here.
You're on the wrong side, Asmo.
We are? I thought we crossed. Shit.
No, you're at basically their border.
Oh, fuck.
Denier speaks up. We're emissaries from the south. We just came back from Meteornacht after speaking to the Archmage and Ramses Palto.
Oh my god.
We were given permission to come and go through his lands as we see fit.
That's quite the claim. I'm gonna have to check on that.
By
You
all
see him
means,
kinda-
please.
You see him kind of step away. And a few minutes later, he walks back. It seems that permission was granted to 3 of you. Looks like there's quite a few more.
Slow turn to Tom and Lush. And
Tom's just
Pip.
kind of sitting back, kind of rocking back and forth on his heels.
Do you?
Pip seems to be playing with like a bit of string that he had in his pocket.
They're a traveling bar. One of the best you've ever been to.
I've still got orders.
We got permission, though. To
Yes,
cross. I
you
don't-
3 lot do.
I can't imagine many people got permission. We got a couple of friends who are coming with us. It's kosher. It's okay. Or do
Any
you
of them
doubt
lot?
that?
Any of them lot sorcerers?
Nope. They're bartenders.
All right, so you're free for the test then.
What?
The test. Make sure they ain't got no magic in their blood.
Out of character. Did I just fuck up?
You can't ask that.
Oh, no! Someone else speak up, please.
What does the test entail?
We take a bit of blood, we taste it, and then if they's good, let them on their way. If they's bad, we kill them.
Well, I see. I I slow turn to Tom and Lush with my eyes, like, help us out here.
Asmo's got sweat drops.
Tom kind of like, Tom realizing, oh, gift of gab, gotcha. It's actually just us passing through. These 2 are just guiding us down this way. They're from a local village back that way, not too far. Here you go. Thank you so much for your assistance. And he hands each of them what looks to be kind of like a small sack of coins. And they kind of like look around, like Abigail and Pip kind of like look around confused for a second. Oh, all right, yeah, I should probably escort you back to your caravan. I'll be back in just a minute. Tom just kind of waves. And he, Abigail, and Pip kind of wander off, kind of just out of sight. And then he comes back alone. After a few minutes. There we are, all taken care of.
Good. We wrapped
Well,
that up.
where is everybody?
Huh?
Well, where are they?
They
What do you
went back
mean?
to their home
What do you
village.
mean? I sent them back to their village. He looks at you.
Good.
They just got back to their cart and gave me my satchel. He puts like a little satchel over his shoulder. And so we can carry forward.
I see. Well, let's move along then.
I want you each to make a perception check.
Natural 1.
Yeah.
Modified 20.
All right.
23.
Yeah, Wolfgang, you just kind of like look away like, where the fuck are they? I'm very confused. Meanwhile, Asmo and Denier, you kind of like see the front pocket of Tommen, like the front pocket of his vest move a little bit, and a little patch of like red hair kind of pops up, and you see those big wide eyes, and then he sinks back into the pocket.
Asmo just does that whole thing, you know, like where your eyes just go as wide as they can.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Asmo does. Just
He's got a little pocket pip.
small.
Soon the gates kind of open, and basically you're all asked to kind of like present your hands, and they kind of like poke you with a obsidian dagger. And none of your blood seems to react to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even Tommen's?
Not even mine?
No. None of your magics were granted the same way the sorcerer magic is. So, yeah, Tom is a completely different beast entirely. Like they actually have trouble like cutting either him or Lush. It's like, you have some thick calluses, sir. Yes, terribly sorry.
It's from all the bartending. Slinging drinks and
Eventually, Tom offers to like poke it himself, and he, draws some blood. Lush accidentally damages the dagger on her flesh. Like it like chips a bit. She tosses it back to him. My bad. They just kind of like look at her like, what the fuck?
Best bouncer in the world.
Now, who's up for some libations? As you step into this base, again, the interior appears to be a courtyard that's meant for training purposes. Like, this doesn't look like it is a base, very similar to the wall as you left it, that is set for actual combat, but it looks to be a training facility of sorts. You have areas for people to practice archery, melee combat, and along the edge of the wall, you see these cages just full of bones and corpses.
were those people who failed the test?
Some were. Most of them's just here for defense.
Oh. Knowledge is the. Do I do it knowledge, Chris? If I want to assume something.
You can go ahead and assume what you want, but if you want to know what, then yeah, do a knowledge check.
I'll do a knowledge check. I'd like to.
Arcana.
Arcana. Oof. 2.
Must be something magic-y. These people what likes dead things, and dead things are those, and I don't know, the guy probably has some magic make them useful.
Huh. Well, isn't that fun? They throw the bones clearly at the opponents. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's all they got to do. They these bones are explosive, and they throw them like a marrowwhack.
Exploding bones is one of my favorite Olympic triathlons.
Yeah. But you guys, basically, they allow you in, and Tom wiles them with a show as he, like, pops open the bar and basically offers anybody who wants a drink inside for allowing them through. You guys spend another night in the Wandering Weasel. The guards seem very ecstatic. Some of them are very worried about, like, what happened at Birchwood Creek. Like, some of them treat you guys like, I mean, some of them look at you like, man, it's kind of your fault. Others of them look at you like, you did what you could. Because some of these guys are actually people from Birchwood Creek. And they're all just soldiers.
Can we, based on what they are talking about, what can be found out about what happened there exactly?
None of these guys really know for sure. Some of them were sent out to, like, look. But when they got there, no bodies were found. Just lots of blood. They said it was very similar to when a patrol had to go towards Bordeaux, but it didn't quite feel as... It didn't feel as weird there. It was just empty. And, yeah, like, basically the entire town was just wiped out overnight.
God.
And they're not sure where all the bodies are.
Yep. I'm guessing out of character, we're not going to reveal that to them, so...
Up to you.
Ooh, no thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm fine keeping that knowledge to myself for now.
We don't even know where we were. We just know who they're with.
Yep. Yeah, you pass your night. Some of the soldiers have a drink and then get, like, scolded by superior officers who then come in and drink by themselves. And you guys rest up, and the next morning they allow you out the back end, and you begin your long crawl across the cliff's edge that leads from this country to the next, across the edge of the great sweeping, like, dark gorge that is the Maw. The wind really kicks up as you're walking through here. Like, as you're walking across this cliffside path, It feels like it's wide enough for maybe a couple of wagons at a time, but definitely not enough for an invading force, which is really why it's such a good natural boundary, and probably why the war didn't continue past where it did, because there's really no good way to put an army in this other country. But as you wander across, like, the wind kicks up, and you feel like you're walking for maybe 12, 14 hours. And Tommen eventually, like, sets aside, like, you set aside for a rest for a bit, because you've been walking for a long time. Tommen takes, like, the little pocket pip out. He takes Abigail out of his little satchel, sets them down, and returns them to their normal size. Yes, I know. Now you got to use your own legs.
Fucking. Sorry, that sound was so funny. That's how I feel in the morning sometimes.
I want to walk. But yeah, you continue forward, and after what feels like maybe 18 hours of just traveling down this path, you see at the edge of your vision, on the horizon, as the sun begins to dip down, a torchlight. And as you approach, the familiar shape of the wall starts to take place, or starts to form.
I still feel embarrassed because I thought the other wall was ours. Been traveling for too long.
Aslan just kind of rubs his eyes.
Well, luckily none of these people here know that you made that mistake.
Oh, I'll probably make another one, knowing my luck.
Until one of us tells him.
Daenerys said nothing the entire time.
Yeah, Daenerys has been uncharacteristically quiet.
Quick question, Lani. While we've been traveling across the maw, have I felt anything? Given the maw's connection to the gems and the cataclysm and that, have I felt anything specific or unusual?
Whenever you glance into it, you feel uncomfortable, almost as if something's trying to suck you into it, which is why you've been kind of averting your gaze this whole time. It feels like a void that is almost staring back at you. And you feel kind of drawn to it, and that's why you've been almost purposefully standing on the mountainside, just kind of like brushing your hand against the stone of the wall.
Yeah, Daenerys kept his cloak up, the cloak of incognito up. He's been staying abnormally quiet for him, and he's just been following along. Usually sticking close to Tom and Lush.
Wolfgang will shoot an occasional glance at him.
Yeah, I mean, while Tom's just been gabbing this whole time about his tour and, telling some tales of some of the people that have come in and out of his bar. Nothing particularly interesting. A lot of them are, just very anecdotal.
Okay.
And as you get closer and closer to the wall, you begin to see movement taking place up at top. You hear a horn blow, and you start hearing the ringing of bells, and there's a lot more movement. And as you get closer, you realize that all of this movement were soldiers hurrying into place. And you see that there are archers kind of standing up top. And through the distance, you hear the distantly familiar voice of Lieutenant Caneswall. Who steps forward? State your business!
Hello.
Hold your fire!
Light cantrip.
My God. You've returned!
Yeah, we sure have.
I will say with the...
Gotta yell it.
Yeah, we sure have.
I'd say with the message we received, it significantly sooner than we expected, and... you boys must be quite cold. Open the gate for these boys! Hurry!
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, buddy.
What can I say? We're workhorses.
Yeah, You see the gate in front of you begin to open, and you're led into the courtyard of the wall.
This is the
to the applause and cheers of all the men around you, some of which you recognize from Amberglade, actually. Some of the people that you went up here and served with decided to join the army full time.
So this is the place we defended. This place
Yes.
we freed.
Yeah, this is the
this
place.
is-
This
yeah.
is the place that you defended from the undead horde of that crazy child.
God damn, it is weird to be back here.
Yeah, people.
Asmo does bro fist with a couple guys.
Yeah, they greet you with applause and cheers, and everybody's really happy. And Lieutenant Kingswell begins to step down. Officer on deck! People just kind of stand silently as he steps forward. Well, must have been quite the journey for you folk.
It
And-
definitely has been a lot of ups and downs, but on our way back home, to say the least.
I don't believe we've been introduced to your friends. Wait, you seem familiar. Oh, I've been around, says Tom.
Yeah, he gets around.
Well, welcome to the wall. I am Lieutenant Kingswell. Here too. The commander of this fort. Bully for you. Yes. Well, you boys are free to join us in our evening meal, and we've got soft beds for you should you need it. I'll provide those as well. Also, some libations. I'm confused exactly.
No, just you know what? You're gonna love this.
Asmo just puts his hand on his shoulder.
Now watch this.
And Asmo just points to Tommen.
Tommen takes the doorknob out of his little pouch, spins it on his finger for a second, and throws it, and it lands on the side of one of the walls of the wall, and the door just kind of punk, and the sign slaps out of it. He steps forward, opens the door.
That's right. That's right. We brought a bar.
And Asmo says it to the crowd of all the soldiers.
And they cheer incredibly loud. Yeah! Wait, hold on! And they all just kind of start rushing in. Wait!
Is it one of those anime things where the guy's like, no, as he falls below the crowd of men?
The building,
Robot house!
the building stretches cartoonishly with all these people.
Daenerys steps up to the lieutenant. He pulls the cloak of incognito back slowly.
Bah!
I believe the boys deserve a celebration. The war is over after all.
Yes, I've heard as much, although I guess the official negotiations will be taking place in, some time, but you boys have done a hell of a service. Now, please, go enjoy your night. I have some reports to make. And he looks in, and none of you are allowed to get drunk!
Okay. Don't worry. I'll make sure that they don't.
Asmo just pops his head out.
Yeah, you guys spend your evening in the Wandering Weasel, having a good old time, catching up with some of the people, like the butcher's boy from Amberglade.
Asmo's showing off like the 2 magical weapons he has.
And you got a lot of people cheering for you. Even Lush, who's normally under the strict rule of if you draw a weapon, you're eating shit, just kind of like lets you go because you're not meaning any harm here.
We're cool. Asmo winks at her.
She kind of gives you a small smirk.
Okay, well, that's something, I guess. That's something. Asmo's just doing pantomiming weapon moves.
Yeah, I mean, while Pip is serving up drinks with Tom, the scantily clad invisible bar women are a hit with the men and some of the women of the wall.
They're showing off their boobs.
Yes.
What's Abigail doing?
She kind of wanders off on her own. Just kind of goes back to wherever she's staying, and
Daenerys gonna go after her. He's gonna spend a little bit of time with her.
as you follow her, she realizes she's being followed and turns around. Oh, hello.
Hey. I wanted to make sure you were okay. I mean, I've heard that you haven't been exactly very happy here.
Oh, it's not that I'm not thankful for everything. I just don't know what to do with my time or... I mean, these... Mr. Tommen and Miss Lush, they're very, very kind, but they don't... I don't know how to control what I do. And I'm scared that I might hurt them or Pip or anybody that comes in. I had a flare-up a little bit ago, and I hurt some people. So I've been trying to keep to myself where I can't do any damage to anybody.
I see. Control is a difficult thing. When I was much younger, yeah, I had a lot of problems with controlling my magic. But
yeah, but at least you have to do something to make yours go. Mine just happens.
Have you
Sometimes
thought about
it's while I'm sleeping? I can't stop it.
Have you thought about potentially looking into, say, some kind of magical object that might suppress your innate abilities, at least temporarily? Like limiter gauntlets or something like that? Or like a ring or something that will limit your capabilities?
I wouldn't know where to get something like that or how to pay for it. Especially since we've been traveling the way we have, I nearly got us run out of a town. I nearly got us killed. Well, I mean, Miss Lush kind of handled that problem real quick, but we're definitely not allowed back in the town of Berg.
Hey, we got run out of dark launch because of the three of us.
Yeah, I suppose.
So you're just a part of the club.
Thank you.
If you want off this ride, we're coming up on some towns with some good folk in it. Fallwood Burrow is a small community, but there's a woman nearby. She's kind of an isolationist, but she's a good person. She really likes cats, though. That might be an option for you. And Amberglade, our hometown, where, most of us are from. There's not much in the way of mages there, but there's one man there that he might be able to help out. His name is Alexander Schlump. I believe that's his name. Out of character. He might be able to help as well. He doesn't have as innate an ability as I do, but when I was learning and I was beginning to delve into magic, he was always there to help me out.
You're talking about old Lex.
Yeah, I'm talking about old Lex.
Terran Slump is the fat town guard.
I know his last name started with an S.
Let Slump train her.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
I thought that was his last name. I know it starts with an S, but I digress.
Yeah.
He might be able to help you. He might be able to give you a stable place. I mean, look at me. The townsfolk, I appeared just in that town out of nowhere 7 years ago, and they accepted me. They'd never seen somebody of my kind up to that point, and they accepted me as one of their own. If you're looking for another start, that might be just the place to do it.
Thank you.
Daenerys smiles and he nods.
She gives a soft smile back. Though everybody still kind of in a depressive funk.
Right. Everybody deserves a second chance. And if you want it, I'll talk to Lex for you. And I'll see what I can do to see if we can get you there. And we can find you a safe place there.
Just a place where I can learn how to use my abilities. If I could just control them, I think I'd be at least safer.
Lani, so Daenerys' room in the library, what is the basement of the library made out of?
Basically, you kind of sleep under a stairwell. Actually, no, you sleep in the attic of that place.
Okay.
Yeah, it's relatively roomy. Like it feels like a crawl space. It's kind of like a. Oh man.
You almost Harry Pottered me for a second.
Harry Potter.
No, you're in the attic. It's kind of like a loft almost. Like basically you go up a ladder and you're kind of on top of some bookshelves and you move back and there's a small window next to where you sleep. It gets kind of cold sometimes, but you're in a temperate climate and it doesn't bother you that much as long as you have a blanket.
All right. Once we get to Emberglade, I'll show you around. See if we can find someplace for you.
Thank you.
He pats her on the shoulder a couple times. He gives her that same happy Denier smile, and he returns to the bar with the others.
Yeah, everybody's drinking and having a good time. She kind of gives a small look over her shoulder as you walk away and heads into her quarters, where she seems to spend the rest of the evening. You all have a good night, drinking, swapping tales, and cavorting with former comrades and friends. And in the morning, you awaken and step outside, and you're greeted by a sight that you didn't expect. There, standing between a dragonborn guard and a human guard, both dressed in capital Imperial Army attire, is Venariel Whistlestein, the platinum blonde elf that you remember as kind of the right hand of Tia.
Oh,
Good morning, gentlemen.
Miss Whistlestein. What do we all do? With pleasure.
Well, I'm here to escort you back to Dragon's Rest for your debriefing.
Oh, really?
Do you mind if we... that's all well and good, but you wouldn't mind if we made a small stop in Amberglade, would you?
I'm afraid that this is very time sensitive. I can promise you that with our new network of teleportation, we can make it very possible for you to get back to Amberglade as soon as possible, but this mission that you went on is of utmost importance to be debriefed on. I hope you can understand. That's all right. Fine. I assure you that we have a full working, this time, circle set up within Amberglade, just off the fringe of it. We have a new network of teleporting systems, including here at the wall, in order to make travel from the capital and outward
That explains why you got here so fast.
Yes.
Did you ride all night to see us? I know we're a bunch of handsome lads, but goodness me.
Don't flatter yourselves too hard. But yes, I have simply made use of our new technology, as it were.
Asma puts his hand on the Dragon Slayer sword.
If I might have a moment of your time in private.
Now is as private as anywhere, I suppose.
Asmo pulls out the blade and just like kind of takes the brown like the brown wrapping around it.
Yeah, where have you been wearing it, by the way? Has it just been kind of on your back, or?
Asmo's had it wrapped completely in a brown cloth.
So it's kind of like tucked in your bedroll then.
More or less. Asmo kind of tucked it in there because he realized that this is kind of he realizes what he's taken is very dangerous, but he also knows that he wants it very close.
All right. Well, you pull it out. You take it out of its wrapping.
I do.
And Venariel kind of looks at it like, okay, it's a sword, and then she takes a look at the handle and realizes, oh, that's silver dragon skin.
Yes, indeedy.
Where did you find this? She kind of holds her hands out as if to like say, can I hold it for a moment?
You may hold it for a moment.
Yeah, she takes it in her hands. She doesn't even like really grab the sword as much as she's just kind of examining it, holding it up with her two hands, palms up, just kind of looking it over.
The debriefing, I think, will be very illuminating in a lot of ways.
And Asmo points right at the hilt.
However, this is why I wanted to say it before it was noticed
Yes, I could see why.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how my lady will feel about this.
Take it off then. Asmos is the hilt itself. Remove that part
I
and take it to your lady.
don't think that would be any better, frankly. May as well. She's the type that likes to know the whole truth.
Okay.
You can see that the Dragonborn that's looking at it is kind of like, almost kind of like wincing while staring at it.
Does Asmo notice that?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. 23.
You notice that. He seems kind of uncomfortable with the presence of this blade.
Asmo points at him.
You. Does
Kinda
this blade...
he kind of like gives kind of a and snorts
This
a little bit
blade.
look.
This blade. Do you sense it?
It makes me feel uncomfortable to be around.
Okay.
Asmo turns to her.
And that's why I wanted to warn you before we had the debriefing that this will be coming into play.
Well, thank you for letting me know ahead of time. She two hands, like, with that same open palm, hands up, kind of like hands it back toward you.
Asmo rolls it back up and puts it in his kind of on his back. Now that he doesn't feel like he needs to hide it necessarily.
If you'll come with me, we have the circle all prepped and ready for your transportation back to Dragon's Rest.
We're going straight back there.
More or less. She kind of smiles and kind of like waves you forward towards this man, I forget what you call those little towers on the side of like a castle.
Ballists? Are they ballists?
Ballast.
Oubliette? No, that's the dungeon.
Either way, you go to one of those things.
Michael Bublé.
And you go up a small spiral staircase that leads to the top, and at the top is a dark room made of wood and stone bricks. And at the very center of the room, on this sheer flat stone floor, is a carved circle very similar to the one that sent you to Amber Glade from the Wizzlestein Spire.
Turrepit. The word
Parapet.
is turrepit.
Turrepit. Okay. Everybody, like, basically, you three, like, Tom and Lush are still packing up the bar. They don't seem to be traveling with you this way. Yeah. Everybody
Asmo just says to Wolfgang,
Guess we're leaving Tom and Lush. And based on how often we bump into them, we'll bump into them again.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Ay.
Denier takes a second, and he's going to copy the markings and the runes around the circle onto a piece of paper.
Give me an arcane check. Because this is a very intricate design.
22.
You think you got it.
Okay.
All right. So you feel like you have a good approximation of what it looks like. Some of the runes are in languages that you're unfamiliar with, so you think you got it right, but never know until you try it. So you all step into the middle of the teleportation circle. Venariel sets her palm in the middle of it and begins chanting. And all of a sudden the circle begins to light up around you. It begins to shine bright as a curtain of ethereal magic raises up from around you.
Wolfgang looks over to her and says, "This isn't going to drop us midair again, is it?"
She is in the middle of chanting and will not stop.
If it does, I'm grabbing your foot.
And as this curtain of light around you, it, like, incredibly bright, just shines around. It begins to flash multiple colors. You can kind of feel yourself kind of shaking a little bit. And as the curtain drops, you see that you're in another stone room, but this time you are surrounded by capital guards of mixed races. You have dwarves and dragons, half-elves, humans, just kind of standing around at the ready. And when they see that it is you and Venariel, they drop their guard a little bit. Whew. There we are. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to Dragon's Burrow. She says as she begins to usher you forward along with her accompaniment of guards. She leads you to this golden door that leads outward. And as you step out, you find yourself... Sorry, gotta find my notes here.
No worries.
I found myself.
You found yourself.
I lost myself. I lose yourself to dance.
Basically, you find yourself in this massive underground facility. It seems like you expected to find yourself in like an outdoor, like another outdoor military base, but no, this one seems almost dwarven in construction. It is a massive military base with a huge bronze gate at the very far edge of it. All around you are statues of dwarves and dragonborn, all carved from the stone that seem to be holding up, that seem to be pillars holding up the roof of this establishment. And at the center is a massive forge that you can hear the hammering of steel. And it appears to be the one source that's lighting up a majority of this place, as the flames of this forge are reflected off of various precious metals. All around you see soldiers kind of wandering around, many of them dwarven, some dragonborn, some half-elf and human.
You said Dragon's Burrow when we got here.
Yes.
Guessing. Are we... I'll just ask it. Are we underground right now? I've never been here before. I thought we were going to appear in that tower.
Technically, yes, you are underground, but more specifically, you are inside the mountain outside that rests above, or that rests below Platinum Peak.
Asmo whistles.
All right.
And as you step out towards this gargantuan gate, one of the dwarves steps out beside you and shouts out something in his language. You start hearing the clanking of gears as this massive gate raises up, and like it must be a 50-foot by 50-foot gate. It must weigh tons and tons, and it seems to be made of solid bronze. And about 5 yards beyond that gate, you see another gate, this time of silver with several runes, elvish arcane runes written all over it. You step towards that gate. Venariel steps forward and speaks a word in Elven. Those of you that speak Elven. Do any of you speak Elven?
I think I do.
All right, well, for those of you that speak Elven, she basically says the word wisdom, and the gate begins to glow. The runes begin to shimmer as it sinks into the ground. And then another 5 yards beyond that gate is a smaller gold door. Like, this one's probably maybe 10, 15 feet tall and 15 feet wide. And one of the Dragonborn next to you steps forward and speaks a word in Draconic. And a seam appears in the middle of it, and it begins to open outward toward an even larger underground city. This one seems to be, much more metropolitan, and it seems to be full of dwarves and various other races down here under the mountain. Here's the proper town of Dragon's Burrow.
Is this below Dragon's Rest?
Technically, it's just outside of Dragon's Rest. And as you step out onto this balcony of what appears to be a small military outpost that leads into the larger one, you see that there's a stairwell that leads down, and you're looking down over this massive dwarven city with an aqueduct that swings through it, carrying water. Another one that seems to carry molten metal to various forges. Around here is where they, create much of the infrastructure that we use in Dragon's Rest, and a lot of the best tools come from this space.
How big is this underground city?
It is a catacomb probably about half the size of Cold Reach.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, you are in a massive cavern within this mountain. And you can see that the mouth opens up to what seems to be one of the various burrows outside of Dragon's Rest. You can kind of see people coming in with wagons and leaving with wagons, dropping off either rough-hewn metal to be used in the forges or returning with various wares.
Oh.
We won't be going out that way, though. We'll be traveling this way. And she kind of gestures her hand towards this small path that seems to lead off the side of the stairwell that's guarded by a few dwarven and dragonborn soldiers here within the military fort that you're in.
Okay.
And you travel down this dark path for a little bit, and you find yourself on the side of the mountain on a twisting and turning path. As you look down, you can see the city of Dragon's Rest not too far away from you. And you see some of the Burrows beneath you. You see a few parks, nice little bit of nature. From where you are on the mountain, you're probably at the foot of the mountain still. But it is a decent ways up from the ground. Try to watch your step, she says.
No kidding.
You travel along this path, and you begin to realize as it twists and turns in and out of caves within the mountain, you're getting closer to the palace. This appears to be a special path that only the royals would go in case of, or other dignitaries would travel in case of an emergency, some form of invasion or some sort. And as you reach the palace, that platinum and marble palace of Dragon's Rest, Venariel opens up what appears to be a secret door that leads inward to a spiral staircase. The lords and lady are waiting for you, please. And she ushers you in. And you travel through a mixture of what appear to be backroom secret passageways until you're finally ushered into a much nicer decored room. Must be somewhere in the middle of the palace. The room is bright and warm with it's very well furnished with gold and red fabric furniture. And waiting within this room is Tia. Ah. Just on time.
We're back. It's been so long.
It has indeed.
Oh, I wasn't saying that in character.
I know.
Oh my God.
No.
How are Wolfgang and Denier dealing with this? They've been very silent.
Wolfgang wants
Sorry,
to get this over
I know
with.
you were just traveling a cutscene. Sorry.
Wolfgang wants to get this over with.
Denier pulls his hood back, and he gives a very respectful bow to Lady Tia.
She gives a small nod to you. Please, after the service that you have done for us, I can't possibly ask you to do any of this. I can. You hear a voice as
Oh
Harash
boy.
steps into the room. So, all three of you actually made it back, huh?
Somehow.
Got a weird voice in my head. Think it was you. Points to Asmo, telling me that you ran into the freak.
Hey,
Denier
that
raises
was
a
not-
finger.
That
That's
was
me.
him. He's got the weird voice, okay?
Whatever. Kind of shakes his head.
Got a pretty weird voice, too.
He is by far the most terrifying thing that I have seen so far.
He's a
Apart
fucking
from
monster.
Yeah, he is.
He's an asshole. I shot him in the face.
Good.
That's true.
Actually
Yeah,
caught him by surprise.
He was like, come on, fucking shoot me in the face.
So I shot him.
Ah, and you fucking lived.
Yeah, some of us didn't get so lucky, though.
Asmo pulls up his shirt to reveal the branding.
The fuck?
Do either of you know what this is?
Harish kind of steps forward and like grabs you by the scruff on your back and just lifts you up so he can look at it at eye level because this dude's like 8 feet tall.
Could lean down.
Nope.
As
His hand actually like cramps up a little bit.
Ah! The hell is on your back?
Oh, I'll get to that in a second. First, do you know what this is or not? You, Lady Tia, or you, big boy?
If I were to make my guess, I'd say you're fucked.
Great. I hate when I'm right. Okay.
How did you get that?
Yeah, you didn't actually tell us that either.
I don't know. I was fighting. We met him. The man of black and white. Had us surrounded. He sent away Denier and Wolfgang to the dungeons. He said he liked the cut of my jib. Something along those lines. He's after something. Very particular. He seems like the kind of guy who likes to hold a grudge. Probably his favorite thing to do. Probably gives him reason to exist. I understand that too. I definitely understand that. But then turns out, I was being pursued by one of the Deadeyes. One of their northern assassins. He was good too. Skilled assassin. He followed into the chamber of the men in black and white. Men in black and white immediately knew. How, I don't know, but that's the thing with magical beings. They're always so mysterious.
Indeed.
He demanded a fight between me and him. And we fought. He almost had me. But I got him. I got the assassin. He then asked me what I knew about the Deadeyes. I told him. One of my...
And Asma says this with bitterness in his voice.
One of my brothers. My best brother, my best friend. A long time ago. We got the opportunity to join them. Here's the kicker. He had to kill the other one. I didn't want to do that, but
Asma points at the scar on his stomach.
he had other opinions. And he wanted to use that. He says he wants the leader of the Deadeyes. And it matches with me wanting the man who did this to me. Who stabbed me in the back, literally and figuratively.
So you entered into a bargain with him.
I didn't really know what I was getting into. Next thing I know, he blasted me with green magic or something. And I woke up in a cell with this on my stomach.
Doesn't sound like you really had much of a choice either.
Less of a bargain, more of a ransom. But
And Asmo reaches onto his back, grabs it with his one hand, lifts up the sword, and pulls back while holding it aloft to the brown, essentially,
You're better off.
the brown
wrapping.
cloth, the brown
Yeah.
wrapping. God, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
but I stole this.
And Asmo just holds it in both his hands, one hand on the blade, one hand on the hilt.
Tia kind of shudders for a moment. Unwrap it, please.
Asmo unwraps it.
Tia steps forward kind of timidly. Where would he have... I wasn't anywhere. She's looking at the handle.
This is yours, then.
Part of it. Yes. You can see Harish kind of like boiling over. That son of a... He actually grows like 3 or 4, like 3 feet. Like his head's almost brushing the ceiling now. And as he's doing this, you hear the door click on the other side of the room.
Calm yourself, Resh.
The king has entered the room.
We all bow. Asmo just
Here
bows his
does,
head.
definitely.
Asmo bows his head as well.
Yes, thank you. Please rise. That blade. You acquired it from Solomon.
Yeah.
In our escape, yes.
Always check the box on your way out. You'll never know what you'll find.
Personally, I think he was planning on using it against you three. It looks as though he had it forged specifically for himself.
So it does.
I hope you understand the precarious situation I accidentally put myself in with this blade. I entered into a deal with this man, not knowing fully what that means, and then I just stole his favorite toy.
Oh, I'm certain he will not be happy with it at all. But then again, none of us are quite sure how the individual thinks. May I know this was not part of your assignment, but I wish to have that sword so that we may...
Destroy it.
Yes.
Okay. Can you make us a
Insight check?
Insight check him as well, but Asmo's got something.
Go for it.
Asmo turns to him and does this.
Okay. If you want this blade, if you want this blade willingly, I mean, you can take it from us, but you seem, all three of you, people of your word. People of respect. I want all...
Okay, he's just sitting there, like, nodding and waiting for what you are trying to get around to.
I want every piece of information you have on the Dead Eyes. Everything. And number 2. He wants the Connolly house.
Asmo points over his shoulder at Wolfgang.
Well, I can assure you that we can provide you with whatever information that the constabulary and our inside resources have acquired on the Dead Eyes. The Connolly house is a bit more of a... It's a troubling issue. A tricky matter, yes.
Well,
you see, while you've been gone, we haven't exactly been the people's biggest the biggest fans of the... Well, we haven't exactly been the heroes of the people. There seems to be some unrest in town, and if we are to strip a noble person of their home and give it to you, that might look bad for us. I hope you can understand the situation we are in. If, however, you could get Mr. Locksley to abdicate his position in that home, or if you should find something to properly incriminate him as to why that home shouldn't belong to him, then I think we could make that matter happen.
Well, that's... sounds like it's going to be more simple than you initially thought.
I would hope so.
He's a thief. A spell thief.
Yes.
Oh, they know. They just gotta prove it.
We have those papers, don't we?
We could have gotten those from anywhere.
She nods.
Yeah, you're gonna catch him right in the act. Trust me, I've weaseled out of a lot of it. Sticky things by just not actually holding the knife or holding the fruit I stole. All right. Give me all the information you have on the Dead Eyes.
We will provide you with whatever dossiers we have. I am afraid that my knowledge is limited.
That's fine.
And Osmo holds up the scar again.
And whatever this,
Well, holds up the marking.
and whatever this is, I might come to your help in need of it. And also, how about this instead? If you can't give us the house, how about you give this guy,
And gestures towards my boy Wolfgang,
whatever information you have on Locksley, because I think it's
Asmo just looks over at Wolfgang.
very personal for you.
I wouldn't exactly call it personal. I only stayed in that house for a brief time before I moved out of the city along with the rest of my family. However, I do believe there are secrets hidden in that house that would benefit us greatly. There are evils in this land that I think the Connollys might have information on that I currently do not have access to. And speaking of information, I think that it might be all the matters that we've attended to in the north, everything that we've seen, everything that we've done. I can confidently say, with the three of us and the three of you, we're no match.
Raish kind of scoffs at you.
Have you seen what I have, Dragon?
He leans down to you.
You know, I thought this trip might add a little bit of respect to your tone.
I am worried for this land. And having seen just a fraction of your power, having experienced just a little of it, you weren't even trying. I know that you're strong. You're stronger than me. I don't know about the rest of you. But there are forces at work that nobody in this room can comprehend. That is why we need a force to prepare.
And you think you're gonna be... Quiet, Raish. What are you... What are you presenting here?
Wolfgang pulls out his book of lore. And he slaps it on the table. And he opens it up to all of his entries about the bleeding god.
Cleritrix. This monstrosity of flesh. Did you write anything about the jester in there?
Probably would have wrote down a couple of minor things.
Okay.
Didn't really have time to sketch him while he was just standing there, but he would probably have done it from memory.
These beings, they do line up with the incident.
These crystals are being collected. They're being put to work, and they are creating monstrosities. I don't even know what to call them. This bleeding god, whatever it is, even if it's a god or not, it's powerful.
I don't think the bleeding god is what we have to worry about. It's what's inside the bleeding god that we have to worry about.
You get a lot of you get a lot of quizzical looks around the room.
Daenerys looks at Tia. You were there at the battle. Did you defeat the beast, or did you only contain the beast?
We held back the beast. We never saw its source, though. Only my father and our champion, as far as I'm aware, were able to make it back from that encounter.
When the beast spoke, did the beast speak?
No, it was mindless and feral.
Daenerys he opens up his cloak, he reaches into his side, and he sets the lead box on the table. I've been seeing more and more of the bleeding god. He opens it up, revealing the 10 gems.
And that is why we must lock these away. To make sure that no harm can come from them,
says Bahum.
I've seen within the bleeding god, the great white tree, a great yellow eye. it spoke to me. I believe that the beast was never defeated. I believe it was contained inside of the tree within the maw. When I was crossing the maw, I felt as though there was something calling me, almost trying to draw me into the maw.
The dragons look back and forth at each other. None of this about the tree seems to be, adding up to them. They were not there for this encounter, so they have no idea.
For what it's worth, I can confirm that it's a place that exists, as I found myself in that place. Mere moments, not as long as Denier, but he ain't talking crit. Oh no. Hello?
I can still hear you. Connor dropped.
Yeah, he'll be back, I assume.
I know he's not talking crazy. For what it's worth.
You say you've been there.
Yes. Each night, my consciousness is taken to this creature's realm, where I wander until I awake. I can see rifts in the realm. Occasionally, I see the tree. It's almost as though the tree's been trying to communicate with me, but it wasn't until just recently, after we escaped from the man of black and white, that I was pulled inside of the tree and I saw the great yellow eye. Something within spoke to me. It noticed me. And Denier's going to attempt to repeat what the creature said to him in its native language, if that's possible. Can I make a roll for that?
You can. Yes.
I'm back. Real fast, Connor, do you need to resync?
He's.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Please don't.
It's just my
interrupt.
internet.
Oh, sorry, dude. I was just...
Yeah, go ahead and make a knowledge roll. Just general intelligence.
Okay. 10.
You find the words coming to you, but you can't utter them. You find yourself, getting caught on them.
I can picture the words in my mind, but I can't vocalize them.
So it speaks a language that you do not.
Yes, it spoke to me a language, and then I'm unaware if it spoke common or if it just forced me to understand, but it simply uttered, "There you are," in a great, deep, guttural voice. Part of me is concerned that the voice that spoke was potentially of the great beast. Perhaps I worry too much, but these gems are far more powerful than I could have possibly imagined.
Then we will make sure they're sealed away.
They also seem to work in conjunction with this, and he sets his staff onto the table in front of it. When affixed to the top of the staff, when I was in battle with the headmaster of the College of Iceforge, I affixed in a dire situation one of the gems to the top of the staff. From there, in a moment of dire straits, I fired a violet, green, and red beam from the crystal towards the beast. It seemed to do incredible damage to the creature.
Well, we'll have to look into that later.
Bahoum begins to reach out towards the crystals, and I need you to make a wisdom save.
You cut out. I assume will save?
Yeah, wisdom save.
That is a 7.
Yeah, you full body just reach on top of this pile of gems before his hand gets there. And a couple of the guards in the room stand forward and start pointing their spears at you.
They really do have a hold on you, don't they?
I've been doing everything that I can to try to hold it back and to try to fight it.
This is one of the reasons I need them. You can't
don't-
be like this.
Why are you like this? No.
My
It's for your own
mind needs to
safety
be
as well.
stronger. Daenerys going to try to force himself off the gems. If I
Do
can.
another wisdom save.
Okay. Natural 20.
You kind of take a deep breath. Just kind of like lean back away from them and kind of like sit down in a chair and kind of like grab onto the arms of it. And close your eyes as Bahum reaches down, closes the lead box, latches it shut.
I know this is hard for you. I understand. I've seen what these can do firsthand to some people. I've lost guards.
Your Majesty, I have a very important question for you.
Please, speak.
Do you think it can affect you?
If I'm to be honest, I don't know. But as of right now, I don't feel any different. I feel the same convictions I always have, and the need to rid the world of this barbarism.
It worries me greatly that they're all being kept in one place. Their
You're not
influence.
alone in that. Now that
But I've seen firsthand what we can do, what they can do.
and your knowledge is invaluable, and this desire of yours to protect the realm is admirable. I see a lot of your ancestor in you. Tell me, what is it you propose to do to protect the realm from these creatures?
I think it's time for the Connollys to branch out. We need not just a family, but a militia of people like me.
Monster hunters.
Whatever these things are, they're causing untold pain and death. That's all we saw up in the north is death.
There are some who refer to it as the land of the dead for a good reason.
That might be true, but some of it could have been prevented. I assume you've heard about Birchwood Creek.
No, the reports of what has happened up there, there's not a lot of information that has been traded back and forth from our lands.
I can tell you, we were there firsthand. There was foul necromancy at work. There was a drow creating a giant pit of milk, if you can believe it.
They
I
look
think it was
around
the-
like, what?
Yeah,
I think
just-
it had-
it was weird for us too.
I think it
Daenerys
had
has
something
his
to do. It had something to do with the calcium, and in it, it created some sort of large, four-armed skeleton. And if I remember right, the crystal was involved in that. A crystal.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
used
there was a blood sacrifice, and the crystal was used to kind of like be a catalyst of sorts.
the crystal was used in the summoning of this bone lord, I think Solomon called it.
Stupid name.
Yeah.
It is a stupid name.
Had 4 arms.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
I don't think if we weren't there, Birchwood Creek would have been wiped out then and there, and Solomon would have got another plaything. But instead, after we left, he rounded up everyone in Birchwood. The entire town is gone.
Goddamn monster.
That's why we need a force.
And you intend to be the headmaster of this force to teach these people how to do what you do.
Right now, the best way I can think of to save these people is to help them save themselves.
Very well. By my decree, and for your efforts, I shall award you the funds to set up a guild hall. A school of sorts.
Thank you.
I'll be damned.
If I may make a request, might your first location be here in Dragon's Rest? I fear we may have more need of it than you know.
I think I may know just how much you need it. That's why I was planning on putting it here anyway.
Wonderful. I'm glad we're of a like mind here, Mr. Connolly.
As am I, Your Majesty.
Please, call me Bahum.
It's gonna take a while to get used to, but fine. Mo.
Now, I would gladly award you your information, and if you can provide us with sufficient evidence or make Mr. Locksley flee his residence, I would gladly award you your childhood home. What about you, young man?
He gestures towards you, Daenerys.
I have only one request.
And that is?
I wish to train under Lady Tia and the Wizzlesteins to learn how to better shield my mind against these gems and this influence. I'm not strong enough to fully protect myself from it yet, and I believe that they can assist me in this task. Plus, Lady Tia seems to be the person that's most watching this situation. So it will be best to put myself under her ward.
I keep my ear to the ground, yes, but my experience with these types of magics are limited. I will gladly allot you any time you need with the Wizzlesteins, if this is amenable. Venariel. Ven kind of looks up. I'd have to speak with my family, but you're more than welcome to join us at the college, and I'm certain they'd be able to train you there.
Daenerys gives a nod. And then he glances at Lady Tia. I believe that you will want to know the full account of everything that's happened with these gems.
Yes, you
In extreme detail.
mentioned a novel of sorts.
Indeed. Daenerys reaches into his bag. He pulls out his book, and he hands it over. This is a documentation of everything that's happened from the time that we arrived in the north all the way up to dealing with Solomon.
This will be a good start. Should we have any more questions, we will send for you.
Now for the other matter at hand. What you have done is a great service to not only this country, but the entire continent. And the award should be justly due. However, as you mentioned, you're trying to look into the Deadeyes. And as I've said, we are not exactly held in the highest regards amongst everyone in the populace as of right now.
Can you
If you
point
wish
me in
to
the right
be-
direction?
I do not know.
Oh boy.
But if we were to acknowledge your service publicly, that would put you in a position that would link you directly to us. So I wish to ask your decision on whether or not you wish to be publicly allotted for your deeds here, for bringing peace to these two nations, or whether you wish your actions remain a secret.
Asmo kind of looks back at Denier and Wolfgang. Kind of just looks forward.
A secret for now, and if the coast is clear later, then you could admit it. A fun little factoid in the future.
He looks towards the rest of you.
Is this a unanimous decision?
Well,
Denier nods for him.
if you had to get my vote on it, I'd say you need all the good publicity you can get at the moment.
Oh, the publicity will be good regardless. Ending this war will be looked upon quite kindly by nearly everyone in the realm, but there will always be detractors.
Well, people who hate peace anyways, you don't want them. We don't want to hang out with them anyways. So,
You yourself said you're trying to find the Deadeyes.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Actually, if you really think about it, if my brother sees that I'm getting lauded for that, oh, he's gonna come a knocking. And I'll make sure that I'm prepared.
So are you changing your mind?
He makes a pretty good point.
Asmo just gestures at Wolfgang.
I'll go with whatever he believes.
You don't all have to be on the same side. We can adulate some and not mention others.
Denier?
I'm actually thinking. I'm really thinking which I want.
This will make a big difference.
Denier
Oh,
looks over
man.
towards Wolfgang. Here's my concern. You've seen what we've come across. You, the Jester, the Man of Black and White. We've got a lot of enemies. For all my family knows, I'm dead. I come forward and let my name be known. They know I exist. If they know I exist, they'll come after me, looking for me. And that might put them square in the sights of the Man in Black and White if him and his drow start looking for us.
Asmo's like sitting down with he's got the sword between his legs, just kind of like spinning it in circles in his fingers.
What do you think, Wolfgang?
If you wish to be left out, then I won't stop you.
He looks over towards If you include me, is it possible to stricken my last name from the records? Almost as though I forsake my last name?
You'll be allotted however you wish to be allotted, but you just know that your face will be known.
It's been a long time. He'll give a nod. As long as I can choose what I'm known by, very well.
Asmo just sits there and just goes,
I don't know what to decide. I've never been so split down the middle on something.
Well, I'm sorry to have put you in that position, especially after such a long journey.
Nah. Such is life. Lucky I even got this far. Seriously, didn't see the thing we fought. Woof. Woof. If I keep it on the down low, I can keep it on the down low. I get the attention. I get targeted. And I can't plan for that. You probably have no idea I killed that member of their group.
I'll tell you what. I'll allow you to think this over while we take a quick break.
Asmo looks up.
Yeah, I was going to say, Bahum just sits in front of you, just kind of waiting for an answer.
I need that information ASAP.
Asmo hands him the blade.
The dragon blade?
Yeah, I hand him the dragon blade. I put it in his hands.
Yes.
I want the information ASAP. I'd like, if you can get me a good blade, that'd be dope. You can credit me. Might give me what I need. And also, I have one more special request. Asmo just says, it's a little bit selfish. I don't think it's that hard of a get for you. We'd like a VIP seat at the meat house. Asmo smiles.
You may have Horatius' table.
Fucking what?
You have.
Yes! Daenerys looks over at Bahum. There's 2 gems that we know of that we don't have, just so you know. One of them is in the rapier of the Jester of Bordeaux, and the other is owned by Mr. Ramses Palto, your emissary from the north.
Yes, we heard that he'd be on his way as soon as they had finished construction of the teleportation circle in their end. There shall be a discussion, though we will not try to... We shall not force anybody's hands, as this is an amicable relationship. Thank you for your sincerity. Now, there will be a ceremony in a few days, soon as the teleportation circle is open. We will hold a ceremony where we will present you with medals and honor you in front of the entire city.
Oof.
So please, go prepare yourselves and do anything you feel you must in order to be ready for what's to come. We are
I'm sorry.
We are in your debt.
Is there a teleportation circle to Amberglade?
Yes.
Then
We
I'm
can
going
make that
home.
ready for you. Or if you wish, we can bring anyone you wish to see here.
I'm not sure how Elliot will do in a big city like this. Well, fine.
good.
He might have to see it sooner or later.
I've got business in Emberglade as well, Wolfgang, if you're going.
I guess
Okay.
we're going to Amberglade then.
Well, it'll take a little time for the circle to be prepared, so please see yourself around the town. Venario shall fetch you whenever it is prepared for your journey.
Let's go check out our new VIP table at Meat House, boys.
If I was told to pass on a message to you, said Venariel, as she's about to head out the door to make the preparations for you. A friend of yours, a Dragonborn, said he was looking for you and wanted to see you when you had the chance.
Oh, really?
Is this to Asmo?
To each of you. Basically kind of just to the room.
Good. I'd love to see how Garrick is doing.
Yes, that was his name.
Oh, son of a bitch, Garrick.
How far you both have come. Within a couple of months, you were nothing more than a highwayman. He was nothing more than a town guard.
And
And now he's working in the capital, and you're getting a medal tomorrow.
And now he's a bigger town guard, and I'm a hero. I can't wait to mention that 3 times.
Asmo smiles.
Venariel escorts you down the secret passageways and kind of leads you outside of the castle grounds on the ground level. Kind of lets you out onto the Lord Street. You kind of recognize this area. You can see the Phoenix Perch as you walk down the road. And then you're there right in the center of town again.
Asmo just stops for a minute and just takes it all in.
You know, I gave it a 50-50 shot that we were going to get back here. You know?
Don't sell yourself short. And he sort of slaps him hard on the back.
Ouch, come on now. Don't
Listen.
rage me like that. I just stole his table. I figured you'd like that.
Listen. Didn't slap you that hard. A -1 modifier in my strength.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you healed one.
Oh, excellent. I'm feeling great.
It's actually more of a tender caress.
There you go. I don't
He
think
actually
it
popped one of his vertebrae back in.
There you are. That assassin Dupree. Yeah. Well, they did you in.
Yeah, he did. He was tough as shit. Anyone who's a Deadeye is tough as hell.
Yeah.
I have to kill
Pretty
someone
good.
to join.
Pretty had a 12-pack. He was shredded.
No,
Heard he fucks chicks every day.
no, actually, stripped his body naked. He had an average penis. Very average.
Shocking.
Okay.
Sure. Anyway, this bit is done.
Cut it! Cut it! We're leaving!
All right,
This interview's fucking over.
Yeah. I'm haunted by ghost Dupree. All right,
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't get you your house back.
That's fine. Really, I want the house for more sentimental value. I was planning on doing the school anyway. The house it'd just be nice to have,
Man,
maybe have Elliot grow up there.
the school, though, how long were you planning that? You know, that's just not something you just do on a whim.
You know, back before I met any of you, I thought I was done. I was done hunting monsters. I was done trying to protect people. I just wanted to make sure that my flesh and blood would grow up safe and live a happy life as whatever he wanted to be. And I still want that. But there are gods at work, Asmo. Foul, evil, manipulative.
Come on, Tommen's not that bad. Asmo says as a joke.
Well, I'll be damned. You hear a voice from behind you.
What?
You turn and you see Garrick. He's dressed in his gold and white constabulary uniform. You're back.
You're still here. Why didn't you go?
Asmo holds out his hand.
I don't know where you went. I just assume you went back home, but when I wrote, people said that you left as soon as you got there. Where have you been?
Can't say.
Asmo smirks.
Don't do that.
Denier shudders when he hears those words.
Come on. It's an inside joke.
Seems I've missed quite a bit then.
Oh, you did.
Asmo pulls out his 2 blades.
Well, be careful where you use those, especially that broken one.
Oh, I ain't gonna
Might
show
have
you
to
that.
find you.
Oh, come on. You don't have to find me. You already know I'm fine. But here's the best part. Let's just say our little job we ran got us a VIP table at Meat House.
Really?
If you want to join us and catch up. I'm assuming we're going to Meat House, right, guys?
Either
Well,
Meat House or Talos and Timmery's.
Well,
Let's do one then the other.
I could go for some lunch.
Lunch it is then.
Besides, I had a favor that I needed to ask you. You step up to the meat house, and there, walking out front, is Pig, the big rotund ogre of a man. Oh, can't get you the table.
No. We will be taking Horatius' table that is now ours.
All right. I guess I could get in trouble if he shows up in I'll let you deal with it if it shows up. All right, come on. And he kind of ushers you back. And kind of like near the side corner of the like front patio area is this very nice table with a extra large chair in it. Feel free, pull up, seat. Get you lot anything? He like rubs his arm across his nose.
I will take a whole pig, please.
Whole pig, got it?
I like your all you can meat platter, please.
All you can meat platter. Same. Garrick holds up a finger. 2 all you can meat.
You know, I'm feeling fancy. Get me a filet mignon.
A filet mignon. Alright, be right back with you, meat.
I love pigs so much.
I love him so much.
He steps back, and Garrick just says, this is a little awkward for me. I've been working here for, I guess, a few months now. But there's something strange going on in this city. There's something within the constabulary, and I'm not sure what is happening, but there are certain leads. There have been people that have gone missing, and things that have gone missing, and things that are there that should not be there.
Like, you're saying guards are going missing, or people
No,
are going
just people.
Okay.
Humans, women, children. And
Yeah, we've been told that there was some strange happenings going on after we left.
but that's the thing. Like, for every one I'm allowed to investigate, some of them they tell me, stop it, I'm reading too far into things. I think he looks left and right. I think someone may have infiltrated this constabulary, and I don't know how deep it goes. And I can't talk to my brother about this because he's not allowed to talk about work with me, and I don't know who to go to. And I'm not allowed to investigate these things on my own, but if I do it not as a guard, I think I might be able to get some results. And that's why I don't need you to help me. I know you must be incredibly busy. When I heard you had gone, I knew it must have been... The royal family must have sent you on something incredibly important. There's no reason you all 3 would have left the way you did. I just need... I know you know gnomes. And he points towards you, Wolfgang.
What does that have to do with it?
I need some special equipment that I think only they can make. But I need an audience, and I need to make sure that they're trustworthy. And I need to know that they can keep this a secret. Because if I'm discovered, it's basically the end of my life.
Well,
Both professionally and possibly very literally.
one is my family butler, and the other is his brother.
And you trust them implicitly.
I would trust them with my life.
Then I will trust them with mine. I just need an audience.
Well,
Insight.
Go for it.
15.
He's being incredibly candid with you. Like, he's being as open as he can, as much as he can in public.
I reach into my bag, I grab the snow globe from Mitternacht, and I put it in front of him. Do me a favor. Touch this for me.
Okay. He touches it, and the snow raining down becomes kind of a bronzy brass color. Kind of reflects orange in the lights, but it's definitely a metallic shade.
Okay. He
Fancy
reaches
trick.
out, he takes it. He's not the jester. He
What?
puts the snow globe away.
Long story. Long story.
I bet.
interesting, though, that the crystals inside singled out what type of dragon he was.
What do you... He looks incredibly lost.
I
Don't
pull
worry
up
about
the
it.
snow globe, I touch it, and it turns green. It turns a different color depending on what race you are.
Interesting.
Souvenir. Useful. Puts it away.
You must have been through quite the ordeal if you're, I mean, you're about as, You're throwing out this trust here about as much as I do in this town now.
I mean, we did fight a bunch of undead together.
Yeah, that's why I trust you.
You flatter me. Maybe where I went was to go be the biggest highwayman ever for the king.
I don't see it anymore. I don't see that anymore.
It's, again, a legitimate business. But here's the deal. What do you need from us? You want to be introduced to the gnomes?
Yes, I just need an audience.
That a yes, Wolfgang? Gonna help our bud here.
I do see that your intentions are noble, and if there is some form of corruption in the constabulary, I would like to see that rooted out.
Thank you. And I'm not asking to do this for free. I understand that there is...
You'll have to pay them, of course.
Oh, no. I might have something for you. See, I've been doing some digging into one of the roads I'm not supposed to be digging, and I may have some evidence that indicts Mr. Locksley for you.
Wolfgang leans forward and sort of Gendo Akari poses. I'm listening.
Asmo starts laughing.
I need to keep it down. I never know where the ears are. But I might have a witness that is willing to testify, and I might have a contract signed in the man's name. That's my gift to you for helping me.
Well, we're going to see Jamat in a little bit, actually. We're going to see his brother after we're done here.
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. Pig returns with just piles of meat. He slaps the massive platter of sausages and steaks in front of both Denier and Garrick. Asmo, he has to go back for yours, but in front of Wolfgang, he sets a tiny plate with a very beautifully cooked portion of filet mignon. It looks like it's got some brown butter sauce with some sautéed mushrooms there with it. Probably like a béarnaise sauce on the side. I'll be right back with yours. And he comes back with a massive platter of a full pig and slams it down on the table. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Denier averts his gaze from Asmo, knowing what's coming.
It's great seeing you again, bud.
Asmo just grabs him by the shoulder, does that shoulder shake.
His entire body jiggles.
Okay.
Asmo just detaches the jaw.
Yeah, you unhinge your jaw, stretch it out as you begin to caress over this entire pig. And again, the skin is like crackling as you are swallowing it down, and the juice is just pouring out of it as if you're squeezing an orange. It's this delicious, garlicky, thymy pork juice that's just pouring down your gullet as you're swallowing this pig whole. And it compacts because it's just so slowly cooked.
This is going to take Asmo a while. You guys can keep talking.
Oh, no, you all enjoy your meals. And you pay up your tab. Comes to roughly 50 gold.
Who pays?
Wolfgang will pay.
Aw, thanks, Dad.
And you even had a few, you had like a mug of ale while you were there. Everybody just had a good time chatting, reconnecting. Basically, you don't tell, how much do you want to tell Garrick about your journey? Or about what you've been up to?
We don't,
if anything.
I mean, we'll probably only, we'll probably only tell him the stuff that he'll find out at the ceremony anyway.
So basically that you were sent on a mission to the Northlands and had to present, the peace treaty, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly impressed that you were chosen for such a delicate task, and not only that, but you saw it through, and he's awestruck by you guys right now.
Yep, it's going to be pretty crazy.
True heroes of the realm. Yeah, Asmo, you have you had to unbutton a good chunk of your jerkin because now you have a big pig belly.
He's pregnant.
Yeah. He's pergnate.
I'm pregnant.
I am pregnant.
I pomegranate. And after you paid up your bill, you can head over to Talos and Timry's as you see fit.
You know who else we also need to see while we're in town? That the alchemist that we got the healing potions from, and Asmo got his the pep in your step potion from.
Oh yeah, used that once, and suffice to say, I don't. It's very odd.
What, you mean the apothecary?
He gave me a potion that pretty much I vomited acid on a guy.
He's one of the people I've been looking for. He's one of the ones that went missing.
What?
Yeah.
When?
Jeffrey Jefferson, right?
Yeah, that's his name.
Went missing a couple weeks ago. Maybe 3, 4. I was told not to look into it.
How many
He was just an old man that wandered off. It's not what the evidence points.
How many people have gone missing at this point?
Hard to say. I don't track all of them, but maybe dozens. The city's big. And the ones that go missing seem to be the ones without, well, families or loved ones near them.
Daenerys Wordley looks over towards Wolfgang for a moment.
They attack the vulnerable, and I feel like for every one we find, 4 or 5 don't make it. So lucky.
Have you heard any reports similar from outside the city?
It's beyond my jurisdiction, but I can only assume that more's happening out there. Probably worse. Something's wrong. Something's rotten here. This city, my mother died to defend it. And I feel like I need to carry on her legacy.
Well, I tell you, you're doing fine right now.
Well, if I can get what I need, I can do much better. And you're now in front of Talos and Timry's.
Well,
this is the place, right?
Yeah, we'll see to that.
As you open the door and go inside, you hear some commotion. I told you the fucking thing just talked! You're just going senile! I am 100 years younger than you! Who's counting? Me! Oh, hello, welcome to Talos and Timry's.
Hello.
Don't mind him, he's just in a mood. No, I'm not in a mood. I had the damn thing working. And now it's fucking not working. I just need a better power source. That's all I need.
Is that Timry who's talking?
Yes, Timry is the one who's just frantically, you hear, clanging coming from down the stairs. I just need a better power source. Come on, work, damn you!
I yell, well met, Timry.
Wolfgang?
That's me.
Oh, fuck me. Hold on. Be right up. He's having a day.
Sounds like it.
Oh, you're fucking back! Look at you!
Sure as hell am.
Actually got a few new scars on you.
Unfortunately.
How's the old gun? Come on, let me see her.
I summon Requiem.
He holds out his hand.
I put it in his hand. I remain within the distance that I need
course.
to maintain it.
Yeah. He spins the chamber a little bit. It's locking up on one of these. You been having any issues with her?
I ain't been firing straight as of late. I've been trying to take care of it best I can, but, well, on the road.
Of course. Let's see what I can buffer up for you just fine.
I'd appreciate that. And I can pay you for this as well. Can you put a little engraving on there as well?
What do you need?
Would I have any pictures of my wife?
You might have a sketch in your notebook. But obviously since photographs don't exist.
All right, I'd give him my notebook.
Pretty lass you got there.
Had.
Of course. Apologies.
And I also, in Celestial, I write down the words, "And the light shone in the darkness, and the darkness could not comprehend it."
Strange little language, but I'll see what I can do about it. I can get that in there just fine. Is that what brings you in today?
Well, I wanted to see you. Wanted to check up on you, see if you were doing all right. And,
He's
got a
going
friend.
crazy. I'm not going crazy, old coot! The damn thing talked!
Talked.
Yes, the thing I've been working on, it spoke, but...
You're talking
it
about
stopped.
that metal man, aren't you?
Yes, the metal man, it sounded like a lady, but it spoke. And then it stopped. Like, it was less than an hour ago. I just need a better power source. I'll send it to I'll send a notice to the Adventurers Guild just to fucking find me something, but...
Well, I came in for that. I wanted to see you, and I've got a friend here who needs your help with something.
Oh, it's that town guard boy. Yes. Pleasure to meet you again, Garrick. Yes. Came by browsing our wares some time ago. Left without buying anything, said Talos. Sorry, I had to conserve my money, but I do have a request, if you could humor me. All right. What you thinking? I need something magical and mechanical. Something that perhaps would be best served by you. Hear that, Telos? I'm being asked for by name these days. Yeah, whatever. Just kind of reading a paper.
Talos is like an old elf, right?
Yes, he is an old elf. Talos Wizzlestein. Come on, step into my shop. Step into my shop, boys. I'll see what I can do for you. He kind of waves you down the stairs.
Did he say a metal man with a girl's voice? What the hell? Ugh. Weird stuff.
I saw it when I was down there in his workshop. It was strange.
Yeah, as you walk down the stairs, you see at like the far end of this narrow hallway that he calls a workshop with like various gears and odds and ends just kind of hanging from the ceiling. At the very far end, you can see what appears to be a suit of armor almost. And it has like a couple of new dents in its chassis from when you were here last, Wolfgang, but you're assuming that was something recent.
Wolfgang leans in close and is like, "Hello?"
Seems to make no response.
What kind of power source you gonna need for this? Like something magical you shove inside it or what?
I don't fucking know. That's why I'm just gonna have to send her out to the Adventurers Guild, see what they can come up with. Anyway, let's see. He pulls out what appears to be like a little chisel, and as he like grips his fingers around, it starts making this buzzing noise, and he starts going to work on the handle of your gun. He flips down a pair of goggles and then flips down a couple of magnifiers on top of it. So this work you want done, boy? What kind of equipment are you looking for? And Garrick sets down what looks to be a small packet of paper on his desk. Oh. I'll take a look at that in a sec. You can kind of smell the handle as it's getting like singed and cut away at. And a few minutes later, he hands you the gun. Let me roll a little crafting check for him. Ooh, nat 20. It's fucking immaculate. Like, it looks exactly how you want it to look.
Mm.
Like, she's nicely engraved in there. And, like, actually, the form that he's cut is actually very comfortable on your hand, too.
I brush my finger. I like grab my glove in my teeth and I pull it off and I stroke it with my fingers, and the engraving begins to light up. It's beautiful.
Well, did my best for you. Now
How
let's
much you
see what you... Huh?
How much you want?
Just seeing you's good enough. Besides, looks like you brought me some business. And he starts opening up these pieces of paper in front of him. Huh. Starts flipping through a couple more. Interesting. Do you have the materials for this? Because this is going to be kind of hard to find. I've been saving up all of my money that has not been going towards living for these materials. Well, it'll be a pretty penny more just to pay me for my efforts, you realize. Yes, of course. I'll make sure to pay off whatever I have to for this. But I need it done. Secretly and quietly. Very interesting. Well, I won't ask too many questions, and a friend of Wolfgang here is, well, family is family. I'll get it done for you, lad. Thank you. I'll stop by with the materials later. Yes. Carry on. Anything else I can help you boys with today?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't need anything. Just stopping in to bring Garrick to you and see how you're doing. We're gonna go visit Jamot in a little bit, actually.
Oh, tell the old bastard I said hi. Tell him to stop by every once in a while.
That might be a possibility in the near future.
Perfect. I ain't seen that bastard in... I don't know. How old are you?
How old am I? Hang on.
That's up to you.
Yeah, deep question.
Oh man, how old am I? I got a kid.
He lost count. Wolfgang takes off his hat and looks at the rings underneath. I am 31.
30 years. Fucking 30 years I ain't seen that bastard.
I'll let him know. I'll
You
tell
do
him to stop
that.
by.
Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work on this piece of junk! Smacks the robot on the side of the head and starts like trying to like get under the chassis and starts working with some stuff.
Not too hard now. It might develop a grudge.
While they've been working at it, can Denier have been taking a look at it to see if he could be of assistance or give him any kind of advice on, say, like a core or anything like that, or anything like an arcane nature?
You can do an Arcana check with disadvantage because you're not really familiar with constructs like this.
Yeah. 11.
Yeah, this is some gnomish shit that you're unfamiliar with.
Man, this is absolutely fascinating.
They've got them tiny hands that can work with those little gears.
Denier just shakes his head. Go ahead.
Yeah, as you step up out of his workshop, Talus is still there reading the paper. Get you boys anything?
Yeah, I'd like to take a look at your spells, your scrolls, to see if you've got anything new in stock. I'm actually thinking about joining the guild. And
Good for you. Bucket's over there. Kind of like points off to the side.
Much appreciated. And he's going to go and look at spell scrolls now that I actually have money.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
All right. Hopefully I get some third levels. Investigation. Wow. That is just...
That's a nat 1, baby.
Yeah, it looks like it's been picked through recently, actually. There's a few cantrips in there, but nothing that seems very interesting. Let's see, you got Dancing Lights, Booming Blade, and Poison Spray.
Dancing Lights.
Dancing Lights. You create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. You can also combine the 4 lights into one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size. Whichever form you choose, each light sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the lights up to 60 feet to a new spot within range. A light must be within 20 feet of another light created by the spell, and the light winks out of existence.
You know what? I'll pick up Dancing Lights. How much
right.
you want to charge me for it?
50 gold.
Okie doke. I will take the Dancing Light scroll. And he offers the bucket to Wolfgang or Asmo if they want to take a look and see if maybe they're more perceptive than he is.
Asmo's got no money, man. Asmo's broke as shit right now.
Uh-oh. Guess I'll take a look.
All right, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Let me get to my core sheet. I was on my bio sheet looking up what age I had put down for him. Investigation. That's going to be another natural 1.
Same list, just minus Dancing Lights. Poison Spray and Booming Blade.
Asmo looks at another barrel to the side, actually.
It doesn't have spell scrolls in it, but...
10! I doubled your score!
You find what looked to be some old discarded wands. Some look broken.
Oh, man. This place has seen better days.
Asmo just says to himself.
Well, hopefully with all the...
As he holds his pregnant belly.
Well, hopefully with all the business Garrick's going to give them, they'll have a bit more money to work with.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he holds out a little dossier for you. This is all that information that I had on the subject. My gift to you.
Wolfgang takes it.
Yeah, it has a name on the inside, and it even has the contract with Locksley's very extra signature on it. Like, it has a fucking star in there. The O is a fucking star.
Bastard. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
So pretentious. Oof.
So you still have some time until, Venario still hasn't come to get you yet.
Were we told when we were crashing?
You're planning on going to Amberglade, but you do have a room at the Phoenix Perch.
Hmm.
And now you have all this information on Darrington.
We could probably stay in our room for a little bit, take a break, rest our feet.
You want to read all that stuff, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do.
There's actually not a lot to read. It's just like the contract. I mean, if you want to read through the contract, you can figure it out pretty quickly that this is just from some very diligent thug that was being hired that wanted to make sure he was guaranteed payment.
Well, that's good of him.
Actually, I'd like to go to the library if possible. Yeah, you two can do whatever you want. Before Denier leaves, he is going to pick up, I'd say, about 200 gold worth of paper and ink for spell scribing purposes.
That's a lot of paper and ink.
Yeah, but scribing spells is expensive. It's like 50 gold per level of the spell.
Fair enough. You are walking out with reams of paper.
Good deal.
Need like a bag, one of those. Well, what are they called? Like sacks of carrying or something.
A bag of like endless bottom or something like that.
A burlap of inventory management.
A briefcase of carrying things.
I don't know. Can't remember what they're called.
So, what's your next stop?
Denier wants to go to the library.
Might as well go to the library. Might as well go to the library as well.
All right, you head off to the library. It's a place you haven't been to in this town yet. It's a big place, lots of books, lots of warm wood.
As soon as he walks into the library, Denier's tail just poofs out like a squirrel.
Lady behind the desk looks up. Shh.
He's just got the biggest smile on his face right now, and he wanders in.
All right. Anything in particular you're going to be looking for here in the library?
Magical tomes, if possible. Given that this is the capital and the mage college is here, I assume that there's going to be some books on magic as well.
There's probably going to be some very basic stuff, but any of the real books of magic are going to be in the college itself.
Yeah, I figured, but so Denier's going to look for like basics, specifically on enchantment. He's going to look into like the fundamentals for enchantment.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check on that.
Okay. 19.
Yeah, you find some very rudimentary books on enchantment. Seems like stuff that is even below your grade.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing here is really going to teach you much outside of what you already know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This seems to be more like a public library for research and stuff like that, but it's not for students of magic.
I don't
like. Maybe if you were like a level 1 wizard, it might be like, "Ooh, neat! Didn't know about this," but you've got real world experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's gonna fluff around, look for good stories to read. Adventures. I'm
going to ask this flat out. Do you want to deal with this Locksley situation?
That was my question I actually wanted to ask earlier. Like, what is to do with this situation? Now that we have the evidence, who do we take it to? It's more or less.
Well, that's up to you. You can either try to go to the guards, or you can try to go to Locksley himself and see if you can get him the fuck out of the house.
So what are you gonna do with that?
While Denier's looking for books that aren't totally porn.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to address that because it's one of the situations I wanted wrapped up.
Asmo just asks Wolfgang,
now that you got your information, what are you gonna do with it? Gonna go to the authorities, or are you just gonna go up to that house, wave what you have, and tell them to get the hell out?
I was thinking about. I don't know. I was thinking about giving it to Miss Twizzlestein, seeing as how she was going to be his latest victim, but I might just go confront the guy.
How about you let me go past this pig and let's go do it?
Ugh.
Yep.
All right, Asmo goes up to the front.
Do you have a bathroom?
Shh. And then she points.
Yeah, you say shh now.
That's what says as he walks off.
You are about to ruin everyone's study time.
All right.
Yeah, as Asmo steps into the restroom, there is a rumble and you can feel the air change.
Daenerys flees the library.
The room erupts in many sounds, none of which are pleasant.
Sounds like a cannon blast.
It sounds like a cannon blast that's slurping with the sound of a discarded husk of an animal leaving. You just hear like almost everybody in the library. Oh my god! Oh, no! Shh!
As Asmo closes the door and just after he's done washing his hands. All right, let's bounce.
Are you fucking okay?
The air has changed.
I'm fine. I don't even know what you're worried about. Let's go.
Somebody walks in after you. Oh dear God! And you bounce from the library.
It's the dumbest joke.
You know how cats can sense natural disasters coming?
Yeah, no, you're all of your hair kind of fluffed up. Something bad is coming.
Yeah, as soon as Asmo walked off, Wolfgang just saw Daenerys just running as hard as he can out of the library.
Abe Sapien puts his hand to the door. Inside, great evil. Okay.
So you're gonna make your way to Locksley's place? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I'm guessing Wolfgang's almost whistling.
Yep, he's got the bundle of information under his arm. Tipping his hat to people as he's walking by, doing the Spider-Man 3 finger guns.
Pew, pew. I've never seen him like this, Daenerys. I'm almost sad it's going to end.
You do a little Michael Jackson spin twirl as you stand in front of the house. Then do like a little skip in your step as you like walk up the front steps. And right in front of you is that wolf knocker. A half-elf woman in a robe opens. Hello?
Is Mr. Locksley in?
1 second. Darrington, are you in? Yes. Be right down. He'll be right down. You can come on in.
Thank you kindly.
And she kind of like prissily walks away.
Think I can keep her?
From the top of the stairs, you see Darrington Locksley in his red smoking jacket. Ah, hello, you've come back. To what do I owe the pleasure? And he slides down the banister and stands in front of you.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you again. As I recall, you had some business for us.
Yes. You can take your time on that one, really. It's no real pressing matter, but I heard a good word that you fellows might be up for it.
Well, we actually just got back. As a matter of fact.
Yes, it has been quite some time.
It certainly has. And Wolfgang reaches in this pack. Well, do we have something for you?
Oh, wonderful. What have you found?
And I take out and I slap the contract in his hands. Oh, I'm sorry.
You give it to him.
No, I don't give it to him. I fold it out in front of his face. Oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't seem to be ours.
Oh, I might have. Step into my office. We'll discuss this. And he starts kind of walk down the hallway a little bit.
And I'm rolling it up. I'm putting it in my back pocket. And I start walking to his office.
All right,
So,
Asmo, I'm guessing as Daenerys follows along with because Asmo is.
Daenerys pulls out the tales of daring do as he walks up the stairs. A number of pages have been ripped out.
Okay.
And he's just, as they get into the office, he's just opening it up
As you walk down the hallways, he's conversing with you. So, exactly what is it that you wish done with that clearly forged work of fiction you have there?
Oh yes, I was hoping we could talk about it. I mean, it's the strangest place where I found it too. You know.
Oh, and where would that be? And who, might I ask?
Oh, I don't think you need to know that.
Oh, I think I kind of do. And he kind of like stands, and you realize that he, while walking down the hallway, go ahead and make a perception check, actually, as he was walking down the hallway.
13.
12.
13, 12, and
12.
Ooh.
yeah, as he turns around, you see that he's wearing a rapier now. And from somewhere along the hallway, he must have grabbed this.
He's wearing a what?
A rapier at his waist. Please, I insist that you tell me where you found it.
Well, it was given to us by someone who's been investigating some disappearances around town.
Is that so? Well, I assure you I have nothing to do with any disappearances. And if
but
that's
you
what
do
this is
have-
about, you can kindly step away and I will gladly pay you for that piece of paper.
No. That's not how this is going to shake out, Darrington.
And how is it going to shake out?
You're going to shake out of my house. And I don't let this go public.
He pulls out the rapier. I'll have you know that no man has ever crossed blades with Darrington Locksley and told the tale.
Really?
Asmo is sitting in a chair behind, like kind of like back with Denier, and Asmo just says with his arms behind his head,
Maybe you should avoid locking blades with a man who's going to be awarded a medal publicly in the next 2 days.
I don't think you've heard. I ended a war.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite an impressive feat, but do you know why no one's ever locked blades with me and told the tale?
Why's that? And I sort of reach behind my hand. I reach behind my back and I summon Requiem and I hold it behind me.
Because I am exceptionally good at running. And he clicks a button on the rapier, and I need each of you, I need Wolfgang and Denier, because Asmo, you're kind of sitting back in the main room, to make a dexterity check.
"Oh, I was in the room as well. I was just."
Oh, well, then make a dexterity check at disadvantage as you're sitting in a chair.
All of us dexterity checks at disadvantage?
No, just Dasmo, who is sitting down, admittedly.
22.
Just a dexterity check or saving throw?
Saving throw, sorry. Yeah, I'll count that as your saving throw, though, Wolf, or Denier.
13.
Oh, 22. I don't know why I clicked it twice.
Yeah,
Need to clean this
22 for
mouse.
Wolfgang, 13, and 22. So, Wolfgang, as he presses this button, you see that it begins to, like, the blade begins to splinter and fires out tacks just everywhere in this hallway. And you manage to kind of, like, get your arm up and glance some of it away. You still take about 3 damage worth of needles as they fly everywhere. Asmo, you take a full 6 points of needle damage as they just sink into you. And Denier, you're kind of the same way, where you're able to kind of avoid a lot of them, but you're still getting pricked by a few. So you take 3 damage.
Okay.
And there was a blinding flash of light when he did this as well. And as you are looking away, he is dashing down the hallway. All of this area is now considered difficult terrain, by the way.
How far away is he?
He is about to turn the corner in this hallway that leads down to a few rooms, as you recall as a child.
I'm going to Misty step in front of him.
Okay.
And I feline agility to run up on him from behind.
All right. As you misty step in there and you get right in front of him, I'm going to roll something for him real quick. right. Also, let's play some music for this. All right. As you slip in front of him, he is going to attempt to just kind of slide out of the way of you, and I need you to make a strength check to grab him. Athletics.
Athletics?
Yeah.
It's not good. Hey! 6.
Yeah, he manages to slip just past you and slides out from under you. And as he's running by, he throws a bunch of ball bearings on the ground and ducks down into one of the offices behind you. Denier, it took you a little bit to just kind of get around those tacks without jamming them on your feet, but you're able to catch around the side as he's slipping away from Wolfgang and he ducks into this office.
What race is he, by chance?
He's half-elf. Actually, no, he's full-on human.
Then, would I be able to get off a spell, by chance?
He's kind of in the office by the time you work your way around, or by the time you're in position, because you were using feline agility to make a dash action, I'm guessing, right?
It would depend how far from where I was to where where Wolfgang was.
With the difficult terrain, it would have counted as a dash.
And okay, then I would have used my movement speed and my dash to move 120 feet, cut it down in half due to difficult terrain. That would have been 60 feet I would have been able to move.
Yeah, you would have been able to get up to Wolfgang and kind of get around him as he's going into this office.
Then no, I wouldn't have been able to cast any. Then that's it for Denier.
All right. Wolfgang, you can... Oh, go ahead, Asmo.
Asmo got pretty much like fell. I'm guessing the couch just flipped back and Asmo's trying to get himself back up again. Son of a...
Yeah, you're just full of pins right now. Like, ow!
Asmo screams out, "What room did he go in?
Went in this office.
Where's the window outside?"
Yeah, Asmo, it'll take you a little bit to traverse the needled hallway.
Asmo's gonna head outside and try and climb... and try and get to the window where the office is, if there's a window.
It's on the ground floor.
Oh, it is? Is it? Oh, that means there's a window. So Asmo's gonna go outside. Pretty much. I don't know how many turns that would take, but let's just say Asmo heads outside.
If you go outside, you can like look around and keep watch outside the front of the house at the very least.
Yeah, Asmo's gonna do that. Asmo's gonna head outside. I'll block him out so he doesn't jump out a goddamn window.
Go for it.
All right, Wolfgang.
I activate Radiant Soul.
All right.
All right, I sprout wings made of pure holy energy, and I fly over the ball bearings.
Yeah, you drift over the ball bearings, your eyes glowing radiantly. And as you look into this office, it appears empty. There's like a desk. I mean, you can only see like part of it from the entryway, but as you go in, you don't see any signs of him.
Can I detect magic?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Is that a bonus action or a free action to use that ability?
I can detect magic at will.
Okay, so that's a free action. Wow.
Yeah, Eldritch Invocations.
Yeah. As you do that, you see nothing. Like, I mean, you see the room, but nothing appears to be outwardly magical. He appears to have disappeared, ironically. But you're not sure where.
Can I put on my goggles of seeing invisibility?
Yeah, you're essentially out of combat, so like anybody can make their way around right now.
All right. I put on my goggles and I...
Yeah, as you're looking around, doesn't look like he's hiding, at least not being invisible here.
Asmo's out in the front yard searching through bushes. Where are you, son of a bitch?
Son of a bitch, I'm gonna fucking get you.
I'm gonna get you. Like a
Asmo,
shark
go ahead and roll
hunting.
me a perception check.
With advantage?
No.
6.
Yeah, there's nothing of interest out here.
Is there a window in this office?
No, this. From what you remember, this was your father's old study. In fact, it was your grandfather's old study as well. Although you don't really remember that too much, but you're guessing based on the area or like the layout of this place.
Can I look around the room for any like trapdoor type stuff?
Yeah, go ahead and investigate.
Do I have advantage because I lived in this house?
You were a baby when you left.
Ah, poop. Goo goo gaga. Investigation! 17.
As you're looking around, you're just kind of like fiddling with things. And as you like looking around the desk, you find what seems to be a lever. And as you pull the lever, there's a door that opens beneath the desk. Seems to go into and there's some like stairs there.
I knew this
seems to lead
had
down.
Secrets. Can I like motion to where's Denier at this point?
Denier probably would have
in
come
the
in.
office.
I motion to the door and I'm like, I hold a finger out to my mouth.
Denier nods.
And I glide down the stairs.
Asmo pops his head into the office coming from outside.
He's not out. What the hell?
I wave to him.
Yeah,
Denier
you
puts
just
his
saw
finger to his
Wolfgang
lips.
climb under the desk.
What the?
Yep. And instead of walking down it, I'm going to glide down them.
Yeah. As you float down the stairs, you look off to the side, and there's like sigils on the wall that you can read in Celestial. They seem to say the names of like many of your family members. You recognize your dad's first name, and one of the last ones as you're traveling down is your name.
Huh.
And then you make it to the bottom, and it's a room that you vaguely remember. But it has that circle, this circle that's kind of like blazed in your head in the middle of it with a little altar on it. And then there appears to be like a crafted cave, like some sort of a makeshift passageway that was cut into the wall on the side. You're guessing he used this to make a escape port.
All right, I'm gonna run down there.
Yeah, as you go down, it all of a sudden becomes really like labyrinthine. Like the paths start to branch off left and right in various places, and you're not sure how far in you'd venture without getting lost.
How big is this cave?
The passageway that Wolfgang is in is very narrow. It looks like it was carved very brashly, like very rapidly in order to make this happen. And the little chamber beneath the office is probably big enough for like maybe a dozen people to stand comfortably. Either way, he appears to have fled the house.
Did you find him? Find him?
Find him. Asmo yells.
You see the faint glow of Wolfgang appear at the bottom of the stairs.
Nope. I don't think he's here anymore, though.
Oh. So, did you get the house back? How does that work?
I think if he doesn't claim it within a certain amount of time, the house becomes mine. In the meantime, I guess I could go to the town guard or Miss Wizzlestein or whatever, present the evidence that I have, and say that he fled town when I confronted him.
Yeah, definitely the one thing that makes a person look guilty is trying to trick everybody and run away.
So you've successfully scared him out of the house.
It's Good shit.
I look back towards the altar.
As your eyes glow, like your eyes glowing the way they are, the text written around the circle and around the altar seem to glow as well. In Celestial, the words seem to read, "By the glory of life, by the light of life, may we protect life."
Wolfgang sort of steps back into the circle. This is where they did the ritual to make him like this, right?
As far as you can tell, it does feel familiar.
He just
You
stands
feel, and you feel like kind of a resonation as you're standing there, like a oneness of self. From the top of the stairs, and actually Denier and Asmo, the robed up half elf lady is standing there. There's a lady outside looking for, I am assuming you?
Which one of us?
I'm guessing
Probably all of
she
us.
said the three of you?
Oh, okay.
Is Mr. Locksley down here anywhere?
No, I think you work for Mr. Wolfgang now.
I didn't work for Mr. Locksley. I mean,
Oh,
not
well.
like my services aren't exactly that kind of transferable.
Ah, I see. Well, you're free to go then.
Okay,
Ah,
Have a nice day.
yeah.
you too. And you all just kind of leave the house.
Yeah, she's not in relation to us. Who's
Venariel kind of looks at you weird as the woman walks away.
That's unrelated.
Mm-hmm. The circle's ready for you.
Oh, the timing could not be better.
Yeah.
Ooh, actually,
I don't think
Yeah.
Mr. Locksley is. I don't think he will be back in town for a while.
Well, that saved me a pain in the neck.
That leaves the matter of the house.
Yes. Oh, yes. Of course. I will let Lady Tia know.
Yes,
We'll
and
see
you
what we can arrange for you.
You can hang on to this evidence as well in case he comes back and claims foul play.
Oh. She looks it over.
Just start picking bits of metal out of my clothing.
Yeah, I'm taking tacks out of my forehead.
Didn't take too kindly when we told him about it.
No, that explained the holes.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just kind of like plucking like metal barbs out of you. As Venariel leads you to the Wizzlestein Spire.
Asmo asked Wolfgang.
so you got your family house back. It's pretty big, and you want to start up a small little academy for people who want to fight monsters. Could not be any better working out there. You gonna teach out of your house? Start small.
Well, I was being told I was going to get funding to produce something of a school. I might run it out of the house.
Well, why don't you got that underground passageway? Why don't you just hollow out a bunch of that shit and make a bunch of rooms down there? Keep shit out of sight.
I feel like that might be more of a personal family thing.
All right.
I don't know if you can't read the languages that I can, but all of our family names were down there. Mine
You
was
also-
there as well.
You also remember the story that Jamat and Magnus and Miguel told you about your grandfather being killed in his study. You're thinking those caves might have something to do with it as well.
There's also another personal matter I have to attend to in that house. I don't think the house will make a good school.
You do you, man. Congrats on getting your house back. Asma just laughs.
Thank you. It's been 30 years since I've been in there.
Yeah, Venariel escorts you to the summoning circle at the base level of the Wizzlestein Spire. All right, this should work much better than last time, as we have a actual spot connected to it now. She sets her hands down and begins chanting. That same curtain of ethereal energy pulls up around you, and it drops down. You're in a wooden fort with a stone floor beneath you with the same etchings. Well, we're less than a 5-minute walk from Amberglade now. I'll just stay here for whenever you guys wish to come back and rest up a little.
Thank you very much, my dear. This is so convenient to have these now. God.
Oh,
Incredibly convenient. She
small
seems kind of
detail.
tired.
Small detail, I know, but before we leave the house, I look for a key and I lock it up.
You do not have a key, but I'm assuming that once everything can get turned over to you, that'll be fine.
Yeah. I want to make it look. No, I don't want anybody to go in there rooting around.
Of course. Yeah, as you step out into the open air, you smell that springtime air, something that you did not realize how much you miss it until it wasps into your nose. You can feel yourself growing nostalgic for your days spent here. And as you step out, you step forward on top of an old hill. And you look down and you see the waving grain and the trees blowing in the wind of Amberglade. There in the distance spins the old windmill that you always think of when you think of the skyline of Amberglade. And you see you see smoke billowing from the chimneys. And you realize you're home. As you walk into town, people begin to clamor. And soon people are cheering and excited to see you. You're essentially local heroes here, but that's the way you left as well. And as more and more faces grow in the crowd, you see the familiar face of old Lex kind of waving at you, Denier. And there, off in the side, you see Jamat and your son, Elliot, Wolfgang. Little Elliot looks almost as tall as Jamat does now. Like, he's grown quite a bit. Jamat gives you that warm fatherly smile, and the baby, Elliot, now almost a toddler, starts bouncing up and down. Daddy! And he starts waddling and running as fast as his little legs can carry him towards you.
Elliot, there's my baby boy.
You reach down and you pick him up, and he gives you this big hug around your face, and you see that his hair is now tied back in a little ponytail, not unlike your own.
You got so big there, lad.
Daddy's home!
Yeah, that's right, I'm home.
He starts tugging at your hair a little bit.
That's my baby boy. How you been, lad? I know.
He's just looking around. Jamat's standing there at your feet. Ever since he's learned to walk, he learned to run just as fast, just like you were.
That might be a little bit of his mother in him.
I'm struggling to keep up now, Master Wolfgang.
Yeah.
Welcome home, sir.
Good to be back, Jamat.
And the crowd erupts around you, happy. Wolfgang, for the first time in a long time, you're able to catch up with Jamat and have a nice dinner crafted by him. You didn't realize how much you missed his cooking. I mean, it may not be as elegant as the meat house's dishes, but damn it, it's comfortable. You can invite over whoever you want, Asmo, Denier. Everybody in town catches up with you. Days pass. Denier old Lex just sits smoking his pipe as you tell him the tales that you've been through. He just absorbs everything, and the children around town love hearing your tales, especially the scary ones that the mothers hate you for telling.
I bet they do.
And eventually you're summoned back to Dragon's Rest. Everybody gets dressed in their finest attire as you step through the town to uproarious applause. There at the center of town, beneath the Whistlestein Spire, they usher you in front of this massive crowd of people. Ramses Palto is there, as is the Archmage. The Archmage has shown up straight from Mitternacht.
What the?
And he is standing side by side, and, like, there is many speeches as, you know, this whole war that lasted for 1,000 years is now being put to rest.
Take it in, lads. Like it or not, we're a part of history now.
Yeah. It's really weird.
And as you hear the like the speeches have all been going on in the background, it's honestly rather boring to you, all things considered, after all this. But
I came here to rob everyone.
And the voice of Bohum begins echoing as he continues his speech.
But none of this would have been possible without 3 daring boys, men. Sorry. I'm unused to giving these sorts of speeches. These men stood for our peace and risked their lives to bring this war to an end. Denier.
Denier looks up and he gives a smile.
And your face is being projected above all of this on this massive hologram. And Lady Tia steps down and places a medal of valor around your neck. It is a dragon, like a kind of, it's kind of like a 3 dragons circling around a skull at the center of it. And the dragons are actually kind of animated. They're moving around, like flying around this skull on this medal.
Oh, that's really cool.
Asmo.
And Lady Tia presents the same medal around your neck as well, Asmo, with the dragon circling the skull.
And Wolfgang Connolly.
Wolfgang stands up.
She places the medal around your neck as well.
These men risked their lives to bring us the peace that we now find today, so that we can forge an alliance and reunite the continent.
And the crowd roars with applause as the Star Wars fan music as the Star Wars fanfare plays. What happens after that is basically like everybody's at this massive party. Like we just kind of like flash cut to this big party, and you guys are the hit of this damn thing. Like everybody wants a piece of your time, but one thing that kind of catches you, Denier, is that Ramses Palto walks up to you specifically. Hello, my friend.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Oh, this is all a bit much for me, frankly.
Yeah,
Tell me.
I can understand.
There's something I've been meaning to discuss with you and some of your companions.
Oh?
Well, let's just say there's a reason that I decided to be here, and luckily your royal family has seen fit to allow me to maintain possession of my crystal. They were not too keen on it, but as I am a dignitary, they will allow this, and I have spoken to them. They made mention that you're trying to train yourself to better hold your will against these things, and
I put forward my own service in that regard.
I
In
see.
exchange for one thing. You see, the magic bloods, as they call them up north, sorcerers, as they'd prefer to be called, they can't control their gifts. And I should know. He holds up a finger and a flame kind of pokes out of it. He holds up the finger to his mouth and the fire goes out. There's a reason I made it through the class as quickly as I did. You see, while some had to spend all their time studying, I learned to hone my own abilities and pass it off as true hard work. Nobody up north knows, and that's probably why I'll never be going back. But I'm going to be opening a school for the magically inclined. Now, they'll be presenting it as if it's some sort of prison, and in some sakes it will be. They will not be able to leave the grounds until they have mastered their abilities. At least not to a certain extent. But I wish for you to assist me in that effort, and through that I will also teach you what I know about these crystals and how better to protect yourself from their influences, and more so to inflict your own upon them.
Daenerys thinks and he nods slowly. I have seen where in your rescue, the gems actually led us straight to you. So
Yes.
I do believe that they can be worked with. While they are dangerous, they're still useful.
I agree. You understand where I come from on this line, which is why I also convinced the royals, well, to allow you this. And he brings forth that gem that you're familiar with, the one with the crack in the middle.
His gem.
Yes. I need you to make well, you don't even need to make a wisdom save as he's holding it out to you. You're going to need this if you're going to, well, best it.
Yes. I will. He holds out a hand for it.
And he sets it in your hand. You feel warm and calm again.
Closes
As if a piece of you has returned. It'll be a long and dangerous road, but if you've been dealing with it for that long, I believe you have the spirit to handle it. And you won't have to do it alone from now on.
He nods. Thank you. I will assist you in this task.
Wonderful. Let this be the beginning of a very long and fortuitous partnership.
Indeed.
We pull back from the party over the city of Dragon's Rest, fireworks blazing in the night sky, and we fade to black. End of chapter 1.